Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impressions on a foundation that I have been wanting to try for a while now, and I finally picked it up yesterday. It is the LA Girl Pro Coverage High Definition Long Wear Illuminating Foundation. I picked this up at my local beauty supply. I think most beauty supplies carry them, and I know that you can also get them online. But I picked up the shade Warm Beige, and this was $7.99. It still has the little sticker on there with the price. I'm hoping that this matches my shade, or that it matches the rest of my body. I did self tan a little bit yesterday, so we'll see if this is going to match my self tan. I did kind of swatch the colors at the store, but you know, the lighting isn't always the best, so I'm hoping that this matches, and if it's not the shade that I need, I'm hoping that it's at least close enough where I can work with it. So this foundation claims to be a medium to full coverage. It also says it has a smooth, long-wearing, flawless-looking finish. And that's basically all it says on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the foundation on one side with a brush and then on the other side with a beauty blender. I've already primed my face. I always prime my face before I do any kind of first impression on a foundation, just because I never wear foundation without a primer. So I want to test it out the way I normally apply my foundation. I've already moisturized and everything. I pretty much just do everything exactly the same. If you've been watching my more recent videos, you know that I've been talking a lot about my skin lately. If you are new to my channel and this is your first time watching, I have had really dry skin lately, especially around the nose and mouth area. I've been using oils and more heavy moisturizers and creams, especially at night, to like hydrate my skin so that I wake up with nice moisturized skin. I tried one of my matte foundations, the L'Oreal Pro Matte Foundation, which is one of my favorite drugstore foundations, and it just did not work for my skin recently. It was very drying. I have to mix like primer oils or argan oils with it just to kind of get it to work better, but even then it's still too matte and drying for my skin. So I'm hoping that it works better for me in the summer, because that's when we're a little bit more humid, it's more hot, and I think my skin changes during that time. So hopefully my foundation starts to work again during that time frame, because I really do love the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. But as of lately, I've been using a lot of dewy and illuminating foundations, and this is just another one that I wanted to try to see if it would work with my skin. I've seen a lot of reviews on this, and a lot of people really like it. I really haven't seen too many bad reviews, so I'm hoping that this is one of the foundations that I really love. As of lately, I've just been picking up so many foundations, trying to find something that will work with my skin and will give me that nice coverage, that glow, without looking cakey and without drying and settling into my lines around my mouth and creasing around my nose. So I'm gonna go ahead and test out this foundation, like I said, with one side with a sponge and the other side with a brush. And then I'm just going to kind of check in throughout the day to see how this foundation is wearing. I do have a few errands to run today, getting ready to go on vacation, so I've got last minute errands to run, packing, cleaning, and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to put it to the test today. But enough rambling and going on and on and on. Let's just go ahead and get into this video and see how this foundation wears. The packaging I actually really like. It reminds me a lot of the Makeup Forever foundation. It's plastic with a plastic top, and it has a pump. A pump is always a plus. I always feel better whenever I have a foundation with a pump versus just pouring it onto my hand. It just makes it easier for me, and it's a lot more sanitary, and also a lot easier to travel with. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump a little bit of that on the back of my hand. And this foundation is very liquidy. I mean, if I tilt it this way, it just starts to run really fast. So it is a very runny, very liquidy. I'm hoping that it does have the medium to full coverage that it claims to have. Even if it's medium coverage and it's buildable, I am more of a full coverage girl, especially when it comes to foundations just because I don't wear foundation every day. It's mostly whenever I'm going to do something special and I want to look really nice and I want my makeup done really nice. So I want that full coverage effect. So this stuff is just running down my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and start applying this to my face, and I'm using my favorite foundation brush. This is the Face Buffer Brush by Makeup Geek. So it definitely covers, and I think this is the shade of my fake tan. So if I'm not tanned, there's no way I'm going to be able to wear this shade. It is a little bit orange, but so is my fake tan. So it blends well with my neck, which is good. It is definitely a dewy foundation. As I'm applying it, I look very dewy, almost oily, but I'm hoping that once the foundation settles, it won't look as oily. It'll look more dewy and more of a like natural kind of glow. And I did have some blemishes right here, which it actually covered pretty well. I'm pretty impressed with this foundation so far. You can see like what the coverage is like. This is the side without foundation and this is the side with foundation. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you in just a little bit so you can see a little closer. So now I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender and I'm just gonna pour the product, or I'm just gonna pump the product right onto the sponge. I'm hoping that because this formula is a little more runny and liquidy, that my beauty blender doesn't absorb all of it. But it actually looks, I mean, it did absorb a lot of product, but it's covering pretty well. So that is the foundation applied on both sides. This side with the brush and this side with the sponge. I actually like both sides. They're both really nice looking, but I think for the more full coverage, I would definitely go in with a brush. So I'm just gonna take that Makeup Geek brush and just kind of press in on the side where I applied it with the sponge to see if I can get a little bit more coverage, just because I do feel like it sheared it out just a tiny bit. Not really a big difference, but it's definitely more lightweight on the side of the sponge. And I think it's just because it picked up a lot of the product. And it is a little dark, but it did match my self-tan pretty well. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and hang on to this shade anyway, just because I feel like I can get some use out of it. First impression, I actually really do enjoy the finish. I like the way that it feels on the skin. It is a little bit sticky, so I'm definitely gonna have to set it. But I'm hoping that because of the formula and the finish, it doesn't settle too much in my smile lines or crease around my nose, which is a problem that I have with my more matte foundations. But I actually do like it. It does look good. It feels good. I do like the finish. I'm just hoping that it wears really well throughout the day, because as of now, I do like the foundation. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, apply my concealer, and set my face. And once I'm done with that, I'll be right back. Okay, makeup is done. So it is about 11:40. I'm gonna go ahead and get dressed, run some errands, and then I will check back with you guys in a few hours. I did set my foundation with a powder just because it was still a little tacky and sticky and I wanted to make sure that it didn't move throughout the day. So I just set it with the Physicians Formula Super BB setting powder. Everything applied really well on top of the foundation. The concealer blended in really nicely. The bronzer, the contour, the highlight, everything looks really good on top of the foundation. Nothing has settled into any lines yet, which I'm super excited about, because usually within the first hour I can already see some settling, and nothing as of yet. I did obviously set my foundation and everything with a setting spray, just because that's always something that I do no matter what foundation I'm wearing. So I wanted to put it to the test, like I said, the way that I usually wear my makeup, and that's what I did. I just used the Mary Kay setting spray, and everything looks really good. Like, I'm really loving the way this foundation looks on my skin. It still doesn't look super dry or cakey, even though I set it with a powder. So I'm hoping that this foundation is one of those foundations that looks a lot better as you wear it throughout the day, because it starts to kind of like merge with your skin, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I am gonna go ahead and get dressed, run some errands, and I'll see you guys in a few. Hey guys, so this is gonna be my first check-in of the day for this foundation. It's currently 3 p.m. so I've had the foundation on for a little over three and a half hours. I left the house, ran some errands, came back, and I've kind of just been relaxing and getting ready to start getting things done around the house. As of now, I am really loving this foundation, and I'm sorry if the lighting is a little off. Later in the day, like after 1-2 o'clock, the sun comes in through this window. I need to put up curtains to kind of block that, but I haven't. So hopefully the lighting is okay. It's a little brighter on that side because that's where the window is. But the foundation looks really good. It hasn't settled into any of my fine lines. It hasn't broken up around the nose. The color is still really nice. It didn't like oxidize or anything. I actually really like this foundation. It looks really good and it doesn't feel heavy. It looks really pretty. I am pleasantly surprised because I haven't had the best of luck with foundations lately. It's been really hard for me to find something that I really love, but I actually really like this foundation. I'm gonna wear it for the rest of the day, and I'm gonna try to keep it on till late this evening. But as of now, my thoughts haven't changed on the foundation. It still looks really nice. And I think it even looks a little bit better now than when I first applied it, which I love when foundations do that. 'Cause sometimes I know you can put it on and they look a little heavy, they look a little cakey, but throughout the day when your natural oils just kind of come through, it kind of like just melts into your skin and looks really pretty, which is how I feel this foundation has done the last few hours. So everything is still on, my contour, my bronzer, everything is still in place where I put it, and I don't have anything bad to say about this foundation right now. I'm really loving it. So I'll be back in a couple hours just to check in and see how it's doing, but I have really high hopes for this foundation. I think it's gonna do really well for the rest of the day. So I'll see you guys in a couple of hours just to check in and see how we're doing. Okay, so it is the end of the day. It's 9 o'clock. So I've been wearing this foundation for over 10 hours. Overall, still looks good. The only thing that I did notice is that it started to crease right around my nose. Just on this side, which for whatever reason, it always happens on this side more than it does on the other. But everywhere else, it looks good for having been on my face for over 9 hours. For the amount of time that I've worn it, it looks good. It looks decent. It looked good all day. It didn't feel heavy, didn't look cakey, didn't come off, didn't crease, didn't make me oily. It looks good. I really like this foundation. I wouldn't wear it for like more than 8 hours, but usually I don't wear my foundation that long anyway. So yeah, so overall, I really do like this foundation. It is definitely one that I am going to continue to use. I think for the price, $7.99, $8, it's a great foundation. I probably wouldn't recommend this if you have really oily skin. I think this would be perfect for normal to dry. And like I said, mine has been kind of dry lately. So yeah, so I think if you have normal to dry skin, you would really like this foundation. It didn't oxidize, it didn't change color. It looks really good. I have nothing bad to say about the foundation. I'm pretty excited that I picked it up and that I really like it. So hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you like these first impressions, reviews, demos, and I'll continue to make them. If you have any products that you suggest that you want me to try out, just go ahead and leave those in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.